Representative Boyle, let's also talk about our pre-K counts program here in the state of Pennsylvania and how successful it's been. And I understand this is a topic near and dear to your heart because of your wife's profession as a kindergarten teacher. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh, that's right. Well, I mentioned my wife. She's been an elementary school teacher for the last 10 years now, and in kindergarten for the last 4, and before that in first grade. So the importance of elementary education is obvious in our household. But it's really, the statistics are overwhelming on this, that the biggest bang for your buck is in those early years of a child. 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, that's where to make the investment, where you can see the biggest gaps that grow among children, and then those gaps are very hard to bring down as a child grows. You know, I've talked about my passion for higher education and making it more affordable. But ironically, for as much money as we spend on higher education, studies show that really the best investment that you can make is in those early years, that has the biggest difference in a child and a young person's educational development, those early years. And Governor Rendell's pre-K initiative has been enormously successful, and the test scores prove that out, the dramatic improvement we've made over the last 6 years. Our investment in pre-K has really paid off, and it's paid off tremendously.
That's right. And Governor Rendell's proposed budget for the year of the 2010-2011 budget is he would put in $85.9 million into pre-K counts. And you're saying it's worth it because also in kindergarten you don't just learn how to read and write, but you also learn your social skills, which you need to learn. You need to know in the workplace how to share, how not to be rude to others.
Yeah. There might be some of state reps who might want to re-enroll in that aspect of kindergarten. I won't mention who, but and I'm sure most of the public would agree. Some politicians could probably deserve another lesson on that. But no, it's exactly right. And actually, my wife always comments on the enormous strides and differences in her class in May, June versus back in September and October, just 8-9 months prior. Just an enormous difference that can be made in those early years. So we cannot lose the gains that we've made over the last 6 years as it relates to pre-K and to kindergarten. I don't know why we would turn back on that after we have made these strides. So I think that's very important. Even in this tough economy, we cannot suddenly stop investing in our future. No good company, even in a recession, stops its research and development. Why would we as a Commonwealth?
Okay, that's right. You don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish. Right. But let's also take a look at a new comprehensive study from the University of Pittsburgh that found that our state's innovative pre-K counts early education program is preparing our young students for kindergarten. So let's take a look at that.
This is Eye on Pennsylvania, a bi-weekly look at Pennsylvania politics from the House Democratic Caucus.
Learning is a lot of fun for these 3- and 4-year-olds in Pittsburgh. As they play and jump, they're gaining the skills needed to start kindergarten ready to learn. It's part of the state's innovative program called Pre-K Counts. It targets kids at risk of failing in school. Teachers have long known it works, and now there's scientific proof. Dr. Stephen Bagnato of the Pitt School of Medicine led a 3-year study.
This was an enormous endeavor.
With the help of the Heinz Endowments, he studied nearly 10,000 children in 21 school districts around the state. The conclusion? Pre-K Counts improves math, literacy, and social skills and gets kids ready to start kindergarten.
This should put to rest the question of, does early childhood intervention work? It does. We've shown it, and a host of other states have shown it.
Here's a look at some of the findings. Pre-K count students from all races and ethnic groups made gains. Nearly 80% of the students gained skills ready to succeed in kindergarten, well above the number without the program. Plus, kids in high-quality classes made more dramatic gains.
The longer you're in a high-quality program, the better you do in terms of your thinking skills, your language, and your social skills.
Checkers, very good.
Pre-K counts also saves tax dollars. This chart tells the story. School districts place 1 in 5 at-risk kids in expensive special education. For kids who have been in pre-K counts, that number drops to about 2%. Back in the classroom, these kids are the lucky ones. Many other 3- and 4-year-olds don't have this chance, and they start kindergarten more than a year behind.
If you have poor social skills, if you lack language skills, if you can't wait, share, take turns, follow directions, get along with others, being able to catch up, in a sense, is much harder.
That difference is easy to spot, according to Carol Barone Martin. She heads early education for the Pittsburgh Public Schools.
We get anecdotal stories from the kindergarten teachers all across our district that tell us that they can tell the difference between the children that had a pre-K program and the children that did not.
That's why House Democrats have long supported investments in early education.
We've always known since we implemented pre-K counts that it was going to work. And now with the University of Pittsburgh study coming out, showing how much it helps, especially those kids in poverty areas, those families who may not be able to afford that quality child care, it gives those children the ability to get that early head start.
Thanks to those investments and the hard work of communities and school districts to design programs that meet local needs, Pre-K Counts is a huge success. This year, nearly 12,000 kids are getting the skills they need to learn now and throughout their education.
The evidence is clear, I think, from this study and from others that investing in pre-K literally counts and helps give these children that otherwise wouldn't have a head start in our society a real leap forward.
Pre-K Counts isn't just about the kids. Teachers also have the opportunity to get coaching and mentoring. And not surprisingly, the study found it makes a difference in the classroom. You can read the entire study at the Heinz Endowment's website. That's at heinz.org. That's going to do it for this episode of Eye on Pennsylvania. I'm Kevin Hensel. Thanks for watching.